Good afternoon. My name is Thomas Pence. I'm a public information officer here with Great Basin Team 3, and welcome to our first community meeting. To start, we're going to keep this meeting to an hour to respect your time and the time of the presenters. So with that, please hold all questions you have until the end. There will be an open period for questions where we can take field questions from the audience. Additionally, should your question not be answered in that open period time, we will be around at the end of the meeting to answer anything you may have. With that, please silence your cell phones, and I'm introducing our first speaker, our incident meteorologist, Sam.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Sam Weber. I'm the incident meteorologist for the National Weather Service, working alongside the team here. My duty here is to kind of help the team come up with a plan to fight this fire strategically based on the current and expected weather. And so for part of my talk tonight, I just kind of want to set the stage of where we've been as far as the weather goes and how it led to the start of this fire. So it's no secret, it's been hot, it's been dry. We're coming off of an incredibly dry snow year, record low across the state and here locally where we had virtually no snowpack in the mountains below about 8,000 feet. So that started things off. Going into the spring, it's been not extremely warm, but we haven't had any snow to melt off. Over the past week, we've been generally about 5 to 10 degrees above average for our temperatures, with humidity dropping down into the daytime lows around 12 to 15%. So it's been really dry every single afternoon, especially once this fire started. In addition to that, we saw very little humidity recovery, which is oftentimes overnight when the fire starts to slow down, but we had very little of that. We've been anywhere from about 20 to 25%. And the highest humidity recovery that we saw was actually this morning, around 35%. That number we like to see around 55%. So it's been incredibly dry is the big picture I'm trying to paint here. And going into the next week, things are going to stay hot. They're going to stay dry. We don't have a lot of chances for precipitation. So the fire weather conditions really over the next 3 to 4 days, really through the end of the week, are going to continue to favor these conditions that we've been continuing to see. Tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures just about what they are today here in Santaquin. It's 90 degrees. It's going to be about 91 tomorrow. Humidity is going to be just as low as it is today, about 9 to 12%. And then moving into Wednesday, we actually start to pick up a little bit of moisture, which is going to bring some high-base thunderstorms, which often can cause more problems than solutions in the fire weather environment. So we could be looking at dry lightning, gusty and erratic outflow winds, and we're still staying really low with our relative humidity. If you look there on Wednesday, 13% for our daytime minimum humidity. So that's really low. Some good news is as we head into the weekend, we're looking at a colder storm system coming into the area. It's going to help moderate the fire weather conditions, right? So 90s today, we're going to be looking at temperatures in the 70s by Saturday and Sunday. So it's going to cool off. We're going to get humidity up, but we're not going to get a lot of precipitation out of this. And we're going to get a lot of wind before that happens. So before things start to calm down with the fire weather environment, it's going to ramp up as this change starts to occur. So Friday is looking like our big day for wind, and then after that, things start to cool off as we head over to the weekend and into next week. With that, I'll hand it off to operations.
I'll get on the top step. Good evening, everybody. My name is Brad Mihalik. I'm Operations Section Chief with Great Basin Team 3. Our team took command and control of the fire at 0600 this morning. So we're just getting here. This is our first shift on the ground. First off, we'd like to thank all the folks that came before us, the initial attack resources, the volunteer resources. Some of you may be associated with some of the volunteer departments that have been a huge impact on helping protect the values out there, as well as the local Central Utah Type 3 team. They were here before us and set us up well with a good plan to pick up from them and move forward. So we really appreciate all their work prior to us getting here. So as far as operations go, we're the ones that are kind of in charge of coming up with the plan of how we're going to put the fire out. So it's kind of a small map and hard to see, but I'll show you some key spots. So hopefully you can orient yourself a little bit. But I'll just go around the fire a little bit and give you guys kind of an update on current conditions and kind of our plan moving forward and what we're expecting. So right in here on the southern end of the fire, right in here is the town of Eureka. So that's the southern edge of the fire down here, and then the north is the top is obviously the north, and then this is Highway 6 coming out to here. So I hope that helps you with kind of some orientation since it's so small. We'll start down here in the town of Eureka. Everything is looking really good in Eureka. The fire kind of backed off the hill, right on the edge of town. But like I said, all those folks that were here before us, volunteers, etc., local agency folks did a great job protecting that town, and there was very, very minimal loss in that town at all. So that's looking really good, and we're really confident in how that's looking moving forward. So that's one of the main things that we're here to protect is that town. So that's really good news. We're in here. We're just going to continue to mop up around the structures, secure the fire line around the structures, and really make sure all that's solid. And we're super comfortable with the area before we start repopulating folks in there. As we move up along the west side of the fire, kind of it's the Highway 6 corridor, and then this is 36, I think it is, Highway 36 up here on the west side. Last night, some of those bigger fingers up on the top, that was the big columns you were seeing late into the evening last night if you were looking at them. So those fingers that are kind of coming off the hill, working their way into the flats down here, that's what you were seeing last night. Our plan for this side is we're using some indirect tactics, and basically that means we're putting fire line away from the fire's edge and then burning the fuel in between the line and the fire's edge. So we've got folks in here putting some indirect line in, and they started some firing operations on the southwest end of the fire today, trying to button up this corner here. All that went really well, is looking really good. So that contributed to some of what you're seeing out there today, too, was us putting up our own, putting fire on the ground at our terms. Moving up around the north end there, as it approaches, I think it's that 12-mile road. I'm still trying to learn my roads around here, but I believe it's 12-mile road up on the north end of the fire's been relatively quiet. It's burning some pockets interior. We really haven't had much movement to the north, so that's looking really good. We got crews up in there looking to go direct on that north end, meaning we're right on the fire's edge, putting line in and securing the fire's edge. Oh, there we go. A little less zoom. North end. There we go. Yeah, so you can kind of see these X's and lines. That's our indirect fire line that we're putting in, these little squiggly lines like this. I was talking about this is what we're trying to kind of burn out and let it back off the hill. So that's a good thing here. Once it kind of backs off the hill and into the flats, it gets into some more favorable fuels that will prevent, rapid fire growth and gives us a good opportunity to get in there and pick it up on that edge. And then, like I said, up north, we've got crews up in there direct, meaning right on the fire's edge, just starting to secure that north end to prevent any northern progression. Can you go up a little bit? Or so I can see the south end? Yeah. Okay, good enough. So this afternoon, or actually midday mostly, actually started fairly early this morning, 11, 12 o'clock. You really started seeing a column coming off of the fire. What you were seeing there is this eastern side of the fire, this southeast area of the fire, starting to make kind of an eastward push towards town here. Had some really good fuels early this morning, really thick, heavy fuels that was running through, so it made a pretty good march this morning. It's worked its way in this afternoon into a little bit of lighter fuel component, so it's starting to kind of die down, which is good for us to give us a little time to try to get some line in there before it continues to march to the east. So the plan over here again is, some indirect fire line, this Alberta Pass Road, I believe it, Alberta Pass Road that comes off the Highway 6 corridor. We're going to put some indirect line out to the kind of the northeast. And again, once we're ready, try to fire that line off to prevent any eastern progression back towards this way, and utilizing the Highway 6 corridor to prevent any movement to the south. So overall, really, it's looking pretty good. I know it kind of doesn't look that well out there, but we're pretty confident in our plan, and hopefully, the weather and everything we'll see. The weather guy said it doesn't look that great, but we're hoping that our plan will hold, and we're feeling pretty confident moving forward. So with that, I'm available after to answer any more specific questions if anybody has any at the end. Thank you. And now we will hear from Joab County Emergency Manager Drake Underwood.
Thank you. Thank you, I guess. Thank you all for being here. Right off the bat, we just want to thank all of our county residents, Eureka residents, for your patience and your willingness through all of this. Greatly appreciated. We're trying everything in our power to get you guys back in your homes. That's where we want you to be, so just know that. On the evacuation part of this, evacuation is still in place. We want to let you all know that there's a shelter set up at the Alberta LDS Chapel. Red Cross is there. There's things there available for you if you need those. Anything, food, water, shelter, anything like that, you can get there. The road closure is still there and in place if you need to get into town, or you need things in town that are life-saving, or if you have animals, or if you have necessities in town. We've been trying our best. We're a small agency, you all know that, to give you shuttles up to town where we will, escort you up in, let you get into your home, check on some things, get those life-saving things that you need or anything from your place, and then we'll escort you back out. We'll continue to keep doing that. You can just contact dispatch or contact someone there at the Alberta shelter or at the road crossing. And we've been having deputies and EMS go back and forth. EMS is still in Eureka and still available for response. We've had a team there the whole time. There's an ambulance still in Eureka, so medical needs are still being met, and they're still being able to provide transportation for you folks. I already talked about the Red Cross. I think I'm going to leave the rest of it for who's coming up next, Interim Sheriff Travis Kennison. Thank you.
Good evening. I just want to take thank you. Just wanted to take a quick moment to thank all of you residents of Eureka. I know it was hard for you guys to leave your homes. We saw it, we were there, we witnessed it. It was rough. It was rough on us to try to get you guys to leave. But rest assured, we want you back home. We'll fight for you to get back home. We want it to be safe for you to return home, though. We appreciate the support from all of you, all the outpour from the communities that, the food, the things they've provided for firefighters, EMS, law enforcement. It's greatly appreciated. But we're working for you guys. We want to do our best for you guys and keeping your community safe and your property safe as well. On behalf of the Joab County Sheriff's Office, I just want you guys to know that you are in our thoughts. Every one of our deputies is concerned about you, your well-being. They're taking time, away from their families and stuff, and they're committed as well. They're up patrolling your neighborhoods, your homes, just to make sure we don't have any problems up there. Just like Drake said, if you have any concerns, please get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office. We'll do our best to try to facilitate what we can and support you in any way that we can. Lastly, I just want to thank all of our partners that we've had, all the fire services. There's enough of them from all over the state and different places. I can't even name them all. As well as law enforcement, our DPS, that's multiple agencies that's helped, BLM, Utah County. and all the other various agencies that, there's a lot of them that's helped us as well. So with that, I'll move along. We'll turn the time over to Mayor Robert Jenkins.
Thank you. So, first, I just want to thank the Juab County Fire, the police, highway patrol. They've been working around the clock, just trying to keep the community safe. The new team that just took over, they're doing what they can to protect our community. But I implore citizens, please comply with the police. The town is still dangerous. Me and city staff have been working hard to keep the water systems going so that there's water for the fire teams to protect town. If you do need anything, we are still trying to take calls and emails at City Hall. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We're happy to coordinate with the Sheriff's Department. As they've said, we've noticed that there's been some animals left in town. We're watching them, trying to keep them safe. But yeah, just massive thank you to all the emergency responders out there. With that, I'll pass it on to Inspector Robinson with the USPS.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. With the Postal Inspection Service, we want to make sure everybody gets their mail. And I'll have Kim talk to you a little bit about the mail flow and where it's going to go. But I wanted to talk about Election Day tomorrow. If you've mailed in your ballot, that's good. If you mailed it in, but you're not sure it got to the clerk's office, you can vote tomorrow in person at the clerk's office in Nephi. You can call, like you say, you mailed it recently, you're not sure it's there. They won't accept a duplicate ballot, of course, but you can call 435-623-3410 to see if they did receive your ballot. If you have one at home that you just didn't mail yet, it's too late, you can't mail it. You'll just have to vote in person.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad you're all safe. Thank you to everybody that's assisting with this. If you have mail, it is currently being sent to the Alberta Post Office. You will not be able to pick up any letter mail, flat mail. We have arrived your packages and they are available for pickup. We'll make a plan for the future if we're not able to go home. But for now, your packages will be available for pickup there.
Thank you. And I'll now introduce you to Thomas Peterson, Administrator for the Department of Natural Resources.
So I'm Thomas Peterson with the Division of Forestry, Fire, and State Lands. I'm the area manager for Central Utah, Juab, Sevier, Wayne, Paiute, and Millard. Real quick before I get going, I'd like to introduce your guys as wardens, just so you guys know who they are. Gage, where are you at? So Gage Bell is the Juab County Warden, and Garrett Nilsson is the Utah County Fire Warden. They've put a ton of time into this, so I just wanted to recognize them and put a face to it. So real quick, the night that the fire went into Eureka, that was a true fight. Like your guys' local responders, the BLM and all of the firefighters, they did amazing work. They did a great job. The one thing I want you guys to recognize is all of us as agencies want to get you guys back in your homes as absolute fast as we can. We want to make sure that it's safe. I think these public meetings are really important to be transparent and give you all the information that we have. So we're moving forward to try and get you guys in there. Eureka still has some hazards, some real hazards. If this fire was to do something, it potentially could be threatened again from the south. We would hate to repopulate and have something happen. It's looking good really good now, but that could change. So just so you guys know, we are moving as fast as we can to get you guys in there. And our goal is to have you in there as absolute fast as we can safely. I think that's all I got. So Cindy Ledbetter with the BLM.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Cindy Ledbetter. I'm the Bureau Representative for the BLM. And, you know, all the yellow on the map, that's our BLM lands, our public lands. And we love that people are wanting to be out there and recreate and use those lands. But, you know, at this time, even though the fire is focused where it's at, we don't know what's going to happen with the winds. It can go any direction, and we have a whole lot of public lands in Utah for recreation. And so, you know, the main message is get out there and use those public lands, but somewhere not near this fire, right? Or any of the others that are going on in the state. The more that we can keep the public out of there, we can get our firefighters in there and have them doing what they need to. So we appreciate that help with just staying away, staying out of the area. And with that, I will turn it to Todd Murray, the incident commander, for final remarks.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Todd Murray. I am the incident commander for Great Basin Team 3. As was mentioned, this incident management team took over full operational control decisions for the incident at 0600 this morning. And so it's been what we call kind of a quick process, a hot handoff, meaning these folks here before you that have already spoken have been very busy since the start of this fire. Just a little bit of background. I'm born and raised here in Utah, currently live down in Richfield and have for 20 plus years, and been doing fire my entire career. And so as part of the Central Utah dispatch area, meaning Richfield Interagency Fire Center, I got the text at 11:30 when Gage got his notification as well, maybe a little earlier than mine. And so I've been watching this from down there, as well as sending my own individual resources that I manage on a daily basis up here to assist as well. So this firefight has been very dynamic and has grown rapidly. We have seen those fire behavior, the runs, the change in the acreage, that's been very rapid and very extreme due to the conditions that were mentioned. And so now that I'm in a different role, specifically with this team, we've been asked to come in and help manage this and help get it to where, again, all of you folks that have been displaced out of your homes in Eureka can get back in there as soon as possible. We ask for a little bit of patience. I need my operational folks like Brad Mihalik and others, and those resources that we have, the hand crews, the interagency shock crews, and the engines in our aviation assets have an opportunity to implement the plans, the tactics that we have that we feel will be successful to secure the edge of the fire, to get some containment on this thing and stop it from spreading, and then at the same time minimize those hazards, minimize those risks to you as a general population and you citizens of Eureka to be able to go in there safely. So yeah, that's the priority of our team, is first and foremost, watch out for the safety of the firefighters who are out there doing the hard work. My job's pretty easy compared to them. I get to sit and answer the phone and talk a lot in meetings while they're out there sweating in 90-degree plus weather, low RH, carrying anywhere from 25 to 45 pounds on their back as they're moving around the fire line in different areas that we're wanting them to address. So yeah, we're looking to try to, again, get containment on this, and that containment is going to fluctuate, right? There's no 0% containment currently on the fire now, despite the hard work of all these individuals before I showed up. And that's just because, again, the comfort level of this fire being able to spread hasn't been significantly high as of yet. That's going to change for sure. However, because of, again, the large footprint that this fire is, 21,000 plus acres, right? We don't have enough people, and that may be my phone going off. I apologize. Sorry. That reminds me of my other meeting that I'm supposed to be to that I've delegated out to somebody else. But yeah, that containment, right? You could potentially see with the conditions that we face, the amount of fire that's out there on the landscape, that hey, we reach a certain percentage, hypothetically 25% one day, and that percentage then drops to maybe 15% or 10% because this fire somewhere made a huge run and burned up in another, 1,000, 2,000, whatever acreage. And so that percentage is going to go down. So it's going to be very dynamic. And I just want to make you aware of that. I know many of you folks are very savvy on this and are aware of that containment. It's a measurement point and data point that we try to provide all of you, the public, of what we're doing, how we're doing, and the success rate that we're getting to. So, and last but not least, again, our priority number one as we take care of the firefighters, you as the public, is to hopefully at some point in time, in the very near future, don't have an exact time frame, but be able to lift the evacuation order and get you folks into your homes. And so with that, that's all I have. I'll turn the mic back over to Thomas for Q&A.
Thank you, Todd. So one thing before we begin, we also have representatives here from Utah County to answer any questions that pertain to them. Additionally, it's a pretty big room and there's a lot of us. So please wait until you have a microphone in your hand to answer your question. Please raise your hand, and when you have a microphone, that's when we'll begin. So with that, we'll turn the time back over to you to start.
Yeah, my question is more or less for the Joab County Sheriff Department. First of all, I want to thank all the volunteers now for saving our home and our town. But my question is as far as social media. And I've been seeing a lot of videos of people that I really don't want her in town now taking videos of our town that I know the Joab County Sheriff's know who this person is. He's been well known by the Sheriff's Department before. So we know he's in town, and it's just to help protect our assets that we have there now. So if anything can be done about that.
So to your question there, we do have officers that are roaming 24/7 out there. We've dedicated law enforcement out there full time. I'm not sure. There's a lot going on right now with social media, with messages, phone calls, things like that. Would you please just get with me afterwards? We'll talk about who that individual is and we'll address it further. But if you have concerns like that, please let us know. If it's an immediate concern, let us know about it. We'll address it. As for the people that are there during the evacuations, there are some residents, very few, but they did refuse to leave. At that point, we could not force them to leave. It was kind of on their own. So, but if you have a concern like that, it's somebody we need to be watching, particular areas of town we need to watch, just let us know. But please get with me after.
All right, next question.
I'm just wondering, is the electricity on up there because I have a lot of meat in my freezer? I'm just wondering.
Very good question. I should have answered that when I was up the first time. So the power was cut by Pacific Corp, who's owned by Rocky Mountain Power, which provides power to Eureka. It was cut the night of the evacuation. The next day, I don't have an exact time, but around near noon, the power was restored. So all of your homes are back to power. We've watched as best we can. We're not public works. We don't know what's going on inside your homes, but we've went around and looked, and everything seems to be ordinary at all of your homes, and power is back on. So as far as freezers go, I'm not quite concerned we've had a lot of questions about gas and pilot lights. They've shut the gas off. Evans Ridge has. I think there's some gas folks here. Yes. So I think that's been taken care of as well. So all utilities are back on and going in Eureka. So.
So this morning, we went up to the barricade and asked Highway Patrol if we could receive an escort this morning to go check on our animals. We have some poultry and stuff up there that we wanted to make sure were well fed and watered. He told us that that wasn't an option and that they weren't doing that as well. He also mentioned that we had a bomb squad in Eureka taking care of some things as well. Can anybody explain what's going on up there?
Okay. So the bomb squad, that is the true story. Basically what happened was during firefighting operations, a box was found with an RPG like rocket launcher thing inside the box, and it looked absolutely real. It looked legit. So we took all the necessary precautions and brought out the experts in that area to make sure we didn't disturb it in any way that was going to cause any harm to anybody. So long story short, it ended up being an air rifle type. Basically, it was a toy RPG, but it was real. It looked absolutely real. So true story, but it's all handled and everything's safe. And then as far as I'll have these guys address your question about re-entry.
To answer your question, Travis, we'll work on communications with Utah Highway Patrol at the roadblock. We have been having people try to contact at the Alberta Chapel because them folks can get with us on the radio, but we'll make sure that UHP is aware that we're trying to get you guys shuttled back and forth. If you just be patient with us, we'll get you up there.
So I do want to address on that as well. City staff has been around in town. Like I said, we've been keeping the water on. With that, we have noticed that there have been birds, found a goat. City staff and myself have been going around making sure that these animals have food if we can find it, as well as fresh water. With that, you can also reach out to City Hall to let us know. We'll do our best to make sure that these animals aren't just left. Thank you.
So you guys said that your guys' major concern is for us to get back to our homes is that the south side could potentially work its way back into town. With that being said, how much of the south side of it do you guys have really contained?
Yeah, so the concern, we don't, so like the IC said, we don't have any containment really. So containment means we're absolutely 100% sure that fire is not going to move again. So just based on the last, what's it been, 4 days worth of weather and major growth and, limited resources until now, doing just point protection, meaning just protecting the structures and kind of letting the fire grow. So we're just protecting values at risk initially. Now that we're getting more resources here, we're able to get people around the fire's edge and start putting in line, checking the line, make sure it's fully out and mopped up. So what they're talking about here is the fires kind of bumped the road here, but this fire activity I was telling you about that you're seeing today, that's north of the road here, moving to the east. With a wind shift, what could happen is if the wind starts coming out of the north, it could jump the road and then hook back around and come up from the south. So that's the concern he was talking about. So we're going to need a little bit more time in here to get some more lines in place. Again, double checking Eureka, making sure nothing crazy is happening there. We don't, like I said, we don't anticipate that, but keep checking that. But this here is our concern because this is fast. You're seeing how fast this thing's growing. I know there's a road here, but it doesn't take much to get it across. So that's the concern, is it hooking back up from the south. So we're going to need a little bit more time just to get some better lines in place and get a little bit more comfortable that event won't happen. But I can't give you an exact timeline on that yet.
Hey, let me just add some additional information there. So one thing about that containment, right? It's a key focus of ours because that shows success of the team, helps you all understand what we're doing, right? There's a lot of money being dumped, meaning taxpayer dollars, yours and mine as well, going into the expense of fighting this fire. And so we take that very seriously. That containment, as I said, can go up and down. Brad kind of mentioned, I hadn't had a chance to pull him aside and talk to him about this, but typically in the past, containment's been, hey, this piece of line right here that you see, right, we blacken it and that means it's contained. It's not going to go or stop anywhere. We want to have that type of assurance as best as we can. At the same time, it's not going to be 100%. No guarantee there, meaning if we have a dozer, now you can see this little black line, maybe not from all the way in the back, this black line here, right? The fire moved past it. It was a dozer line put in at some point in time. We would think a dozer line would work really well. Conditions dictate otherwise. So at some point in time, it could have been contained. It just became uncontained. And so it's not 100% is what I'm trying to say. But through the expertise of the operation folks, we feel very confident. Want to talk about Highway 6. And so with the current activity here in this area, that Pinion Peak, right? With all of the activity right there here in the S-curves of Highway 6, we've got folks right on the highway that need full room to operate and whatnot. And that's why we're keeping that road closed, is to keep you folks safe, our firefighters safe as well. And so as they operate in here, right, we want to make sure whatever plan that we have that Brad and his folks are working on somewhere down here, literally probably just past the S-curves in this canyon where all these roads are, that we can try to anchor off the highway and keep the fire and keep it north of there. And so we need some time to do that for the next day and a half, is what we're looking at. To kind of address, right, I'll call it the southwest side of the fire, Highway 6, at some point in time, based on how these operations goes, based on our conversation with the sheriff's departments, right, and we decide to lift the evacuation order. There's the potential, don't know what this looks like yet, that Highway 6 will stay closed here, and you may have to repopulate from around on the west side to get back in there, to where, again, we shrink the order a little bit in terms of specifically the road closure on Highway 6, but that allows you in there into your homes and do what you need to. And we can continue to fight the fire as we need to here, so that, again, we minimize it moving south past Highway 6 and impacting you from the south.
Hi, everybody. My name is Peter Quitner. I'm the emergency manager for Utah County. I do want to address something that's come up a few times, and that is on our alert messaging, the notifications that some of you may or may not have received. There's been some information out there, and there's been some people in Santaquin, Goshen that have got messaging saying, I see people shaking their heads. Yep, I see a lot of this. You have to understand how this works, but that messaging, the evacuation, was for Eureka. Santaquin, Goshen, they're not evacuated right now, okay? It's important to understand that. But it's also important to understand what's happening through this whole process. You have a massive machine, and this mechanism that runs takes so many different agencies, so many different entities. It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of effort, and we have a lot of tools at our disposal. That messaging system, it's an integrated public alert warning system that we have. We have the ability to kind of ping off the cell towers. And so we're doing our best. We would rather notify people every possible way we can than to hold notification back just in case some other people get notified. We want people to be safe, but it's good to communicate. So we've been working with Santaquin. We've been working with some of the other entities that are getting these notifications, kind of just so everybody understands. And it is our intent to make sure more people get notified than less people get notified. And this happens, and we just want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to have the information. So bear with us, please. But the people doing this, there's so many people involved in this, and it's a fine dance. And I've been through this before with other teams. These people are amazing. They're professional. They know what they're doing. Trust me, we're in good hands. They really do amazing work, and it takes the participation and the understanding of the community to really understand the job they're doing. So we're all up here trying to express everything that's taking place for transparency. Just be patient with us. We're doing our best, and we will continue to address any circumstances that come up. And every time this happens, there's something weird that comes up, and we deal with it, and we go, that's pretty cool. We had to deal with something, and we learned a new way we can communicate with people, or a new way to help people. So we're doing our best, but it was important that we get that information out there. If you have any questions, call your city. If you're evacuated, call the police. We've contacted our dispatch centers. They are aware of who is evacuated, who's not. So just pick up a phone and call, and we'll answer all those questions.
Thank you.
Just curious, do you have any information to the cause? Was this human caused?
So the fire investigation is still ongoing. We don't have an official cause of this fire yet.
So I have two questions. Mr. Wall would like to know if you have any estimate of when we might be able to go home. I know you said you're trying to get us there fast as you can, but is there any estimate, like it's at least 48 more hours or at least this much time? And then my other question is you had said some people, you can't make people leave, that there are people there. And I appreciate the city workers like feeding animals and stuff, but can you give us more reassurance about our assets being protected? Because we left a lot behind. We left a lot of assets behind, trusting that nothing would happen to them. But as it goes on, more time and more people being in the area, I am really worried about my home and the things that we left behind. So can you tell us exactly what you're doing to protect our assets that are there with the people that are there, whether they are firefighters or whoever? I just want to know that my home is safe and all of my neighbors' homes are safe.
So we'll address your first question of reassessment first.
Yep, great question. Appreciate it. So yeah, I mentioned patience. However, what that time frame looks like is we need at least additional one operational period to implement some things in the southeast corner. We have a scheduled meeting Wednesday where we will get with the contacts from the sheriff's department and look at things. Now, I will say this. Again, we have a presence there in Eureka with our firefighters, our structure protection group that continues, again, to mitigate risks and make sure that there's no, say, hot spots or anything that could flare up, torch out a tree, throw a spot somewhere where we don't want it. And so we do have a presence from the firefighters there. And again, the whole reason why we're waiting until Wednesday, needing one full additional, I'll call it 24 plus hour time frame before we have discussion with both JUAB and Utah County representatives is again, the threat here is real. We don't know, based on what we're trying to do and implement right here from this ridge line. I know you can't see that from way back there. If we can, it's already slopped over on the eastern aspect from Pinion Peak here. It's down into here already. And so, again, we've got shock crews, we've got dozers, we've got what we need to try to anchor and flank it, going indirect and both direct. And what I mean direct is we're touching the black, usually 1 foot in the black as best we can. That's the safest way tactically and operationally to keep the firefighter safe and just to flank the fire. And then where we can't do that, based on fire behavior, topography, access, whatever, we go indirect. And so we fall back. You can see right up here, this dozer line, that's considered indirect. We're a half a mile, a quarter a mile, maybe over a mile potentially away from the fire's edge because, again, topography doesn't allow us in there. The dozer operator didn't feel safe operating his equipment up right next to the black for various reasons. And so we continue to use those tactics, both direct and indirect, to build the box, as we would say, and continue to go direct where we can, fighting the fire right on the edge where it's indirect. That's where we do, as Brad mentioned, burnout operations with our shot crews, right? We know if we let the fire romp and come at us at a full head of steam, there's not the best probability that, again, it spots over as it has done. So we do a little back burner firing operation on our terms, where we want, how we want it, to be able to eliminate that fuel and eliminate that possibility. So hopefully that helps address. So again, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon is when we'll convene back with the folks, and we'll provide these folks our recommendation, and then the decision is made.
So to address the concern about your assets, we're concerned as well. I know all of you are, all the other 600 residents that are from Eureka. It's a big concern. And like you, we're frustrated as well as the people that have re-entered, and we're having trouble with getting them out of town. It just creates more of a workload for us to try to watch those people in the homes. But we do have officers that are roaming 24/7, multiple officers. It's not just one guy and I'm here or there. He's actively driving up and down the streets, checking your homes, things like that. We want to protect what we can there for you. That's your home. There's a lot of memories there. There's a lot of things that are important and valuable to you guys. That being said, if for some reason you have a concern, let us know. We can go past your house. We can watch your house. If somebody, you suspect them. I know just in our travels, we went door to door to every single house in town when we evacuated. We knocked on every single door in that town. I'm aware that a lot of you have cameras and stuff. So if you're seeing something suspicious on your cameras, things, let us know. We'll go check it out. Our night guys are patrolling. They're looking for lights, any activity, things like that. During the day, we're making contact with all of those people that are out on the streets and stuff, and talking to them and figuring out what's going on. And so with that, just let us know your concerns, you guys. We'll do our best to try it.
Well, I was just up there about an hour ago, and there was probably 15 or 20 cars riding around Eureka with one person in them. They said there's supposed to be 2 or 3 per car going up there taking stuff they needed to get. So what's that all about? How come we're doing that?
So the only ones I'm aware of, unless they've come in another way or something through a blockade, that they're not getting through without an escort. So I'm not sure if those are people that are already there. So the school parking lot, it's had a lot of firefighters in it. So, yeah. Okay, and we can watch for that car too, and we'll address that. And if we need to, we can add more security to that area if we have to do that. So.
Thank you.
What kind of structural damage can everybody expect to their homes with the heat being so high?
What kind of structural damage? So structural damage, yes, heat can impact siding, right, on the homes, the structures themselves. Again, no primary resident has been lost from the onset of this fire. From initial attack, extended attack, basically when everybody was evacuated, and the resources on Saturday night ended up doing burnout operations as the fire was rolling off the slope down towards town. We tried to be, the fire resources were very proactive and conducted, again, those burnout operations. And so I can't say there's not been any impact. However, I think it's been minimal is what I will say. Because again, it was literally probably folks standing in your backyard, maybe right off your porch, trying to do what they needed to mitigate the fire impact to that structure through a burnout operation, spraying some water, whatever that is. And so I can't speak directly what that looks like, but I know they did their best.
Are they going to bring back the big boy choppers and airplanes? Couldn't they hit that area?
Great question. So we have a contingent of aviation resources, what we call type 1 helicopters, so the heavy lift helicopters they're either tank or carry a big bucket carrying, upwards of 80 plus gallons per bucket drop. We have those. We have a type 2 helicopter that helps us do crew transports as needed, where needed on the fire, plus does the bucket drops as well. And then 2 type 3 helicopters. The aviation assets, fixed wing, or the airplanes. So we have an air attack supervisor over the fire, keeping a 10,000 foot visual of the fire as the folks are on the ground, talking to the resources, those firefighters, where they're seeing activity pick up and helping them devise the plan of where to go from point A to point B to stop the fire. The retardant planes, so the single engine air tankers, looks like a crop duster, or the large air tankers. We utilize some of them today, not as probably many that were as utilized during the first stages that Saturday day itself. We still have access to those. We just have to order those up and be able. Now, I will say this. Those large air tankers, they are a national asset. So they're coming out of Tooele, they're coming out of Cedar City, they're coming out of potentially Pocatello, Idaho, or Twin Falls, right? So there's bases set up across the western U.S. Being a national asset, we do not control them. We can place our order for a large air tanker to bring in retardant, and it goes through this process. And if we are not the highest priority based on a new fire somewhere else within our geographical area, we may get denied and that plane goes somewhere else. And so we do our best each and every day through the various communication channels we have as a team, up that communication link up to the folks that make those decisions and try to sell our story. And again, a community like Eureka with those values at risk rank high for sure. And so it just kind of depends. There are numerous large fires within the Great Basin. Specifically, you'll probably see on the news tonight, potentially, there's a new fire down by Beaver. It's on the Fish Lake where I work. And they're ordering the team just like my team here coming in there over the next couple of days. And so again, that competition for these limited resources just continues to escalate. And so we just continue to do what we need to, telling our story, ramping up those priorities on our own, and communicating those up to the folks as needed.
Thank you.
Hi, I just had we want to say thanks to the community, obviously, everybody that's helped out. We realize, this is kind of a fast thing that happened. We got evacuated very quickly. For those of us who have animals with us, who aren't able to go to a shelter, who've had to kind of rely on just outdoor resources, tents, things like that, and obviously took a day's worth of clothes or a day's worth of whatever, when can we even go up to switch our things? Or wouldn't it make more sense to have a time frame of a certain time of day where we can go back up to check on our things as long as the danger is not imminent?
So I can't really speak to the being able to go up. I'll leave that to the sheriff department. However, the shelter, the evac center in Alberta, they do have food for animals, as I understand. If something is needed, please let the mayor's office know. I have been directing resources everywhere that I can. So if something is needed, please let me know, or let City Hall know, and we'll try to get, if it's clothes that you need, we'll try to find those for you. But I'll let the sheriff's office talk about further escorts up the mountain.
Yeah, we're trying to be as available as possible for escorts. So if you guys have needs for your animals or different things like that, obviously that's a different scale on the priority. Life safety all those type of things, medications, all that is number one. But we're getting to the point where we understand that you guys are going to have some of those needs. We'll try to help you as best we can if you come, and we'll give you some escorts. As far as, you know, allowing you in for a certain amount of time and then coming back out, that's probably not going to happen because fire can change rapidly. I'd let these guys talk to that, but that would just kind of be that's the whole risk of allowing you up there. So the whole point would be to get in and to get back out.
We have a question here.
I have a question. It's on. Yeah, before I got out, I got my garage door shut. They turned the power off, and I was kind of worried about my garage being wide open up there.
Let us know your address. Come and get with one of us from the sheriff's office, and we'll check it for you.
Okay.
And that goes for anybody. If you're worried about your house locking it up, something like that, just let us know. We'll do our best to go check for you.
Okay.
We have time for one last question.
I would like to thank each and every one of you guys and everyone involved for helping us get out safe and to save our homes. So thank you.
Thank you. Thomas Peterson had one final comment.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, it's not just our priority to get you guys repopulated. When the governor came to Eureka and had a chat with us, it was him and Lieutenant Governor. They told me that they want you guys back in your homes as fast as it's safe. So it's way above us wanting you guys back in your homes. And I can promise you we will do all that we can to get you back in there as soon as we can safely. So. And then drones. We've had a problem. If you guys could tell anybody you know with a drone to either put it in the dumpster or leave it in their home, it would help us because when they fly, we can't. And that's just putting you guys back. So, we'd like to.
So I want to reiterate something. I've been taking care of the community the best I can. City councilors, Raylene Maxfield has been down at the evac center. If you contact her, contact Kimberly Clements, Tom Nedgerberg, any of them, we are happy to help try to coordinate with the sheriff's department to get you guys up into Eureka to take care of your properties, okay? All right. All right, I've been called out. It's 7:28. We'll take one last question.
Thank you for everybody who has helped. Okay, really fast. So this is going to sound like I'm impatient because I know Nancy kind of already asked this question, but just coming from somebody who has never been in a fire and y'all have at least been fighting them for a while, and I know you can't tell me, oh, this day we're going to be back or this day we're not. If you were asked in this situation how long we should stay out of our homes, how long would you stay, Mr. Richfield? Thank you. That's all I want to know. I won't sue you.
Whoa, that's a loaded question. Let me see what I can do. You know, when we first got here and after we had what we call an in-briefing real quick, and I'll keep this short. Sorry, I won't ramble on. First question came to me is what we thought we could do in terms of, again, lifting the order, repopulating Eureka. Based on yesterday's activity, I thought 48 hours. Today, that changed. Conditions changed, right? Activity picked up. And the plans we had originally set first thing this morning went out the window. By the time we got everything up there and we had aviation assets being able to fly, right? They have a duty day time frame they have to meet. They came on about 0900. And by the time they were able to assist. That fire was already standing up and moving and threatening the road system dozer line, and eventually spotted over. We couldn't get in there safely enough to hold it at bay. So based on today's operation, the activity we saw, I would push it out at least 48 hours, maybe a little more. That's why I want at least one additional full operational period for my folks on the ground to do what they can to implement their plan, and that's why we're meeting Wednesday. So I'm hoping 48, but don't hold me to it. Yep. 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 No, totally understand. Yep. You bet.
All right, it's 7:30 now, so we are going to end the meeting. Thank you for your time. We have maps set up, and there will be people staffing them for any additional questions. Please find someone in a yellow shirt or in a collared shirt to ask them. A information line present.